All right, I talked too much, so I got cut off on the last one, obviously, but you got the idea of how to create the pupil and the iris of your dragon using the shapes. And hopefully you figured out how to fill color and change the color of the shapes using the gradient tool or the solid. Now I want to show you how to add some different shapes into your slide to create the texture of the dragon. We know a dragon has like a really scaly look to it, maybe very rough. So there's going to be a lot of different shapes that you're adding in here. If you do have that polyline option, then you can click on polyline and start to create your own shapes. But I know many of you don't have that. So you're going to have to use some of those pre-made shapes here and fill it in that way. I'm looking, there are so many different options here, and I'm going to use this semicircle or maybe even this teardrop look. So the teardrop kind of has that scale to it. When you insert the shape, you have the boxes on the side so you can resize it because our scales might be smaller or bigger at different points. So I'm going to just make it a little bit smaller, and I'm going to spin it this way using the circular blue dot on the side. So we want these scales, or I want them for my dragon to repeat. But first I'm going to change the color because I don't want to have to redo this a million times. I am going to use that gradient tool again. Just for time purposes, I'll use this pre-made filter gradient. So I now have one little scale in here and I want to duplicate it. If you're working on the iPad, you can click on it and a little bar will appear where you can copy, paste, and duplicate. You should be able to press that duplicate button and it will make that copy for you. If you're working on the laptop, you can either use that edit, copy, paste, or on my keyboard, I can click Command D to duplicate. And now I have another little scale behind it. When I click on this scale, if I want it to be over top, think back to the Powerful Portraits project. If you did that assignment with me, that's using that arrange feature. When you're on the iPad, you can click on the shape and you'll also get the option to send to back or move to front. On the laptop, I use this arrange order, bring to front. Now my scale is overlapping. I'm going to duplicate it again and put one behind. Arrange, order, send to back. Oops, arrange, order, send to back. Let's try it again. There we go. So now I have three here. And for time purposes, I'm going to click on all three at the same time and group them. I'm not sure if this is something that you can do on the iPad. So if you're having trouble, let me know and I will help group shapes for you. We're going to be doing this together. When we're on the meet or during class, I'll be there so I can help you out. But for my purposes, I think that it is helpful to group the items. Now I can move them about on their own, and then I can duplicate again. So I get all three of them together. So now as I keep adding to this, you'll see that the scales are going a lot faster than just going one at a time. I'm going to arrange, order, send to back, and keep going. Whoops. I want to use that grouped feature again. Now your entire dragon shouldn't be created with using the same shape. So I'm going to do this top eyelid with this shape, but then as I span out and go farther out around the eye, I think I'm going to use more jagged shapes like that lightning bolt that's in the middle. So I might go back into my shape tool and try something else and even change up the color. You have so many options with the color variation, so you might as well mix it up. As you go from the inside where that's very light, you might use darker shapes as you get to the corner of the slides to give it that effect that it's either popping out or it's illuminated. Use that color feature to help your work. And same with the gradients, you can do that as well. I'm going to use a little bit of these diamond shapes on the bottom or on the outside. So your scales can change a little bit and you can play around with the way that you create patterns and the texture of that dragon. Maybe for this one, I use more of a, like a gold or a light blue. I don't know. I might end up changing the color of my eyeball too. You'll see my finished product at the end of the video, or just since you're in the slides anyway, you probably see how I ended up turning it out. But this project I think will be a lot of fun for you. I want you to get creative and think about what if you had a dragon. Like I'm thinking about Game of Thrones. If you had a dragon, what kind of dragon would it be? You know, would it have a theme to it? Would it be certain colors that represent you? But the eye is really like that key into the soul. So make sure that your eye really stands out.